Good morning, gang. Happy Wednesday morning. So, how many of you remember this quote or have ever heard it? First, they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. How many of you remember that? That's Martin Niemöller talking about Nazi Germany. Okay. Many times I have mentioned paying attention, getting involved, looking outside our own little bubble as to what's going on in your world. Okay. Not the entire United States, not the state you live in, maybe in your backyard. Okay. I want to take you to Hawkins County, Tennessee for a little bit. Okay, Hawkins County, if you guys have been here long enough, that was the county where I went to the commissioners meeting or whatever it would be a few months ago when the state senator and state rep were in talking about making gold and silver legal tender in Tennessee. It's about an hour northeast of me. Okay, I don't live in Hawkins County, but it's important to pay attention to what's going on around you, and I'm going to explain why. Some of you may live in an HOA, a homeowners association, where you have some restrictions, depending on the HOA, it could be a lot of them, okay, as to what you can and what you cannot do. My bet is there's probably something about that HOA that you don't like. That, you remember the old, I don't remember if it was Geico or Progressive or one insurance company, and you had this witch of a HOA president walking down. Your mailbox is an inch too high, and she goes with the chainsaw to the mailbox. Yeah, there's some HOAs like that. I know of one that's near me where if somebody buys a piece of land, the HOA has to approve your builder. So your neighbors get to decide whether the person you picked to build your house on your property is acceptable to them. Okay, just giving you that as an idea. What if they went a little further? What if they started to decide what you could and could not do completely on your land? Okay, that you can't grow a garden. You can't put a pond in. You can't build a smokehouse. You can't plant a certain kind of tree, whatever it would be. You can't walk your dog in your yard, et cetera, et cetera. What if they did that? Would that be acceptable to you? Yeah. You can't have a YouTube channel. It's a business. You can't have a business in your property. Really? Okay, things like that. What if that was told to you? So I go back to Hawkins County, Tennessee. Okay, like I said, hour northeast of me. Hawkins County, Tennessee is ruby red. They voted 82.3% for Donald Trump in 2020. Okay, that'll tell you how many liberals live there. The mayor, the county mayor, is a Republican. He was elected in 2022. The commissioners, I didn't look them all up, but inevitably are predominantly, if not all, Republicans / conservatives. How many times have we talked about two wings of the same bird? Hawkins County, Tennessee, on Monday night, 2 days ago, had a commissioners meeting. All the county commissioners get together with the mayor, county attorney, whatever it is, to handle business for the county. There was a little regulation that they were going to put into place that wasn't really made publicly knowledgeable. Public wasn't really informed about this. But it leaked, and the public found out. The county commissioners had a proposal that they were going to vote on Monday night and inevitably pass, okay, to basically make the entire county an HOA. They were going to determine whether or not you could shoot turtles in your pond if they were eating your fish. They were going to determine where you could keep the trash on your property. They were going to determine things like what vehicles you were allowed to have, what type of house you were going to be able to build in the entire county. Okay? The public caught wind of this. And the public showed up to the county commissioners meeting. The county commissioners weren't quite expecting that. I want you to watch a short clip. I'll link the entire video below if you want to watch it. Okay? But I want to show you a short clip of one woman and her response to what they were pushing through. And she challenged the board. Watch this.
Wow. I'm here. I can speak from here. I got a big mouth.
Are you Miss Pond?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. I wanted to talk about the resolution because the wordage in there is very much like a proclamation. Like we got elected officials that are acting like our overlords, like they're going to dictate to us how things are going to be, who can have what, how can they live, what they could live in, where they could live, how they can work, what kind of job they could have, their moral values. You people are not our overlords. You were elected to take care of the business for the people, not dictate the business to the people. It sounded like a communist manifesto. A proclamation from the dictator overlords. That's what bothered me. And that's what still bothers me. Because there's one gentleman up there that takes the blame. But I see a whole bunch of other people up there that won't even admit to anything, and yet you were going to pass it? Whose idea was this to act as overlord over the people of Hawkins County?
I told you it originated with me.
I don't believe it may have originated with you, but you alone can't vote it in.
Right, I don't have a vote.
So you're excluded from this. Thank you for admitting that. I want to know about the other people up there.
The way a resolution, let me just suggest something here. I'm gonna pause your time.
I mean, I understand you're in charge of the county land.
Let me just clarify something, and I paused your time. The way a resolution is by one commissioner. The rest of them can vote on it any way they want to. They didn't have anything to do.
Okay, who presented it? Mr. Carter. Oh, you did. Why? Because you had somebody with trash living next door to you? Why did you bring that up? Did you put this language together?
It was boilerplate from CTAS, and I said that earlier.
I got it right here. It's really very disgusting. Do I need to bring it up?
That's actually language directly from the law the legislature passed. So it's not something the board made up. That's from the statute.
Yeah, we are our own county.
50%.
Pursuant to the directions of TCA, blah, 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 the Hawkins County Commission hereby expresses its intent to the county to be authorized to exercise those powers granted to municipalities under blah, blah, blah. Such powers are described by law as to the ability to, 1, define, prohibit, abate, suppress, prevent, and regulate all acts, practices, conduct, businesses, occupations, callings, trades, uses of property, and all other things whatsoever detrimental or liable to the detrimental or to the health, morals, comfort, safety, convenience, or welfare of the inhabitants of the county, and exercise general policies, powers, and prescribe limits within the businesses, occupations, and practices liable to be substances are detrimental to the health, moral security, or general welfare of
Now, she ended her speech with a very good question. Who the hell are you? Okay. But there were some interesting points that were made that the county commission comes up and says, oh, this is just boilerplate language that came out of the legislature in Nashville. You know, that nice blue Nashville. Okay. But that was their cop-out. Oh, we're just doing what they told us. Kind of like the comment we all hear about the military or FEMA. We're just following orders. Okay. No. Sorry. Not happening. You know, when they start to, as she read what was in there, justifying your occupation, what they consider moral or not, okay? No. We live in a free country. The people there bought their property to live in a free county, you know, where they could do what they wanted. If they wanted to raise sheep on their property, they raised sheep on their property. If they wanted to raise rabbits on their property, they raised rabbits on their property. If they wanted to fix automobiles on their property, they fixed automobiles. But no, this county commission decides to tell them that, well, decides they were going to tell them, you can't do that anymore. We decided. You can't do that anymore. Mark DeWitt, who is the president, okay, is a Republican. He's the one that was pushing for this. Now, the people caught wind of it, and as you can see in the pictures there, said, hell freaking no, that this ain't going to happen. What I found very interesting is, and mind you, this county office is a brand new building, okay? They weren't planning on the people showing up. The microphones weren't turned on. The microphones supposedly didn't work, okay? Brand new building, right? That, as somebody said earlier, we paid for this building. Somebody said you saw the people, maybe not, standing in the hallway because there wasn't enough room in the hall or whatever you want to call it that they were doing this, and suggested that they move it to an auditorium or even move outside or something. And the commissioners said no. They were trying to push this through without the people's voice being heard. This is why it's so important to pay attention to what is going on locally. I mean, as I've said before, go to a school board meeting. I don't care if you don't have kids. Go to a school board meeting. Your taxes pay for those schools. You have a right to know where your tax dollars are going. Go to a county commissioner's meeting. That's determining how you're going to live your life in your county. That's going to determine what businesses can come in and what can't, okay? You know, business comes in. Let's just use this one because this is always a tough one everywhere, okay? Somebody wants to put a new restaurant in, and they want to serve beer and wine, or they want to have a full bar or something. The county commissioners have to approve that, okay? And a lot of times they push back on it. Now, regardless of what side of that issue you're on, you're pro having a bar, against having a bar, whatever it would be, at least your voice should be heard. Because otherwise, what you get is the uniparty who is going to tell you they know what's best for you. Now, this board tabled this. They said that they won't bring it up again. You know, now that, as one person put it, the people have spoken, and the people have spoken very loudly. No shit. Yes, you were elected to do the business for the people. You weren't elected to govern over like a king, like an overlord, like the ones I've said many times, are going to be sitting on the hill while you're slaving away down in the valley, providing everything for the meal for those on the hill. Yes, these are publicly elected officials who, in Hawkins County's case, probably most of them signed their death warrant for getting reelected next year, because they were just going to rubber stamp this. And imagine getting a letter in the mail saying, Mrs. Jones, effective immediately, you can no longer have that car in your driveway. You have to close down your dog grooming business, and you need to raise the height of your mailbox 3 inches. This is why it's so important to pay attention to what is going on around you, to get involved at what is going on around you. Because in a full-blown SHTF situation, these are exactly the type of people who are going to come in and say, I'm in charge, El Hague, okay? Do you want that person over your small community being the one organizing everything? I sure as hell don't, because none of them believe in freedom. They believe in a dictatorial society, with them being the dictators. They're no better than Joe Biden doing the same damn thing. We are a free country. The only way we as the people stay free is if we get rid of this NIMBY, not in my backyard attitude, and start exercising our rights and exercising our voice to fight back. There aren't any politicians, or there are very few, let's put it that way, who have the people as the number one priority. 99% of them, their power is their priority. And as we've said many times, we need to remind them they work for us. We don't work for them. Pinball out.